Good morning, Western Slope. Happy Friday. I'm Dalen Brazelton. Let's talk about your weather. Folks, we have a wonderful day set aside for the Western Slope and really the Grand Valley specifically. But first things first, take a look at America's Mattress live tower cam. You would not even be able to tell that it's not a full moon based on what we're seeing here today. This is an absolutely beautiful sight here. A nice bright moon, and then right next to it actually the planet of Venus. So it's kind of an interesting little picture there. I just kind of wanted to showcase that because it's not too often that we see that moon kind of setting right between the Grand Mesa and Mount Garfield like this, and very interesting way to kick off the morning. Meanwhile, we do have a wonderful day expected for the Grand Valley specifically, with some cloudy conditions starting to push in as well, because we do have some potential for showers building in the later hours of the evening. But for the most part today, it's going to be a nice, wonderful one. Of course, as we're continuing to count down those days till fall, just 3 days remain until the autumnal equinox on Monday, September 22nd, kicking off a new season, and it's going to be a lovely one indeed. We're continuing to track that fall foliage. It seems like a lot of trees above 10,000 feet, specifically in the Central Mountains, seem to be peaking this weekend. So while we do have that potential for showers, could be a good time to head up to some of those mountains, maybe even near Telluride, and check those out. But of course, we're seeing those aspens in Mesa County, I should say, starting to change probably closer to next week, at least hitting its peak time. But if you do end up seeing some of those colors this weekend, maybe shoot it over to me on Instagram or Facebook. I would love to see that here. Meanwhile, for today, we're waking up to those mid-50s in Grand Junction, Glade Park, Paonia, and Nucla. Moab seeing very similar conditions as well, with the 40s mainly near Montrose and Delta. And then, of course, you get to some areas like Aspen. Gunnison seeing just 1 degree above freezing to kick off the day at this point in time. For that classroom forecast, that first bell's ringing to 55 degrees and some cloudy skies. We're going to see quite a bit of cloud coverage over the day today. However, that's not really affecting the temperatures too much. This is basically what we saw yesterday as well, despite the fact that yesterday was nice, clear, and sunny. 80 degrees for those after-school activities as well. And then over the course of the day itself, we're going to see a very gradual increase in temperature. Those 80s officially heading our way around 2, maybe 3 p.m. And then, of course, like we mentioned, various forms of cloud coverage all day long. That incoming moisture that we could be seeing is due in part to this low pressure heading over the Great Basin at this point in time. Some of that lower flow could be pushing into the region. That's why we're kind of starting to see that upper level system track towards the south as well, mainly concentrated near very much so the southern areas, but we could be seeing that happening throughout the weekend, Saturday as well. And then Sunday kind of hits and it kind of tracks a little bit more to the north, so we won't be seeing too much of that as we head into Sunday itself. Storm potential itself, though, like we said, very slight, but definitely still there for today, peaking tomorrow, and then kind of returning for the next couple of days. Very slight chances of showers, mainly concentrated in those higher elevations. That's kind of how these upper level systems go. So just keep that in mind if you're doing any traveling plans this weekend. Meanwhile, as we take a look ahead of that futurecast, you can really start to see what we're talking about when it comes to that flow kind of pushing into the south. Telluride, for example, seeing a fair amount of that, as well as a lot of the San Juans kind of concentrated in those higher elevation regions for this weekend. As we take a look ahead, though, at that Discovery Auto Group 7-day forecast, those low 80s going to be the case for the next couple of days, and then a slight warming trend for midweek next week. Not as bad as initially thought, but still there. Montrose, slightly cooler, those mid-70s happening, increasing up to the upper 70s, but overnight lows getting back into the 40s. Folks, fall on Monday. It's going to be a great time.